So I wanted to show you before I begin, this is what I'm going to try and light. So here I'm just kind of moving around and you can kind of see. So here's my apparatus on the white seamless. So I got this dinosaur, it's all wrapped up, and I got just a few wads of paper. And I want to see if I can get texture and detail in all that white paper, but have the background the brightest part. So the background's gonna be white, while the rest of this you'll be able to see three-dimensionally. In order to light the backdrop separately than the front, I gotta figure a way to get this flash suspended, I think, somewhere in the middle, something like this. So I put up these two light stands, and I'm gonna try and use this broomstick somehow and make this work. So let's see what I could do to make that work. Alright, so the broom handle is in place. I've got the rubber bands around the broom handle. I got to figure out how to get this flash to stay here. I pre-rigged it with a rubber band, so I'm going to see if there's some way that I can have the light sensitive slave unit still get triggered here by the camera. But I want to see if I can mount this somehow with this rubber band. So I'm going to play around with that, and once I get in position I'll show you again. Alright, so now that I've got this pole rigged across, this is pretty crazy here. So I've got a light stand on each side. I've got a clamp clamped around the light stand just so I have something to brace on. The broomstick goes to the clamp, and then I've got this clamp rubber banded around the light stand on each side. So that got me pretty close, but it still was rotating with the flash. So what I had to do here was I put a rubber band on this card to put pressure down and hold the flash into place. So I'm being really careful so I don't drop it. And then I clamped this side, and I clamped over here on this side, and that way it's all held together. Finally, there was this little bit of gap back here. So what I did here is I put this card, I'll try to put it again, and that's just helping me get the board all the way to the wall so that the flash hits all the way to the white seamless and then goes down, and I don't have any escaping up the wall. Okay, so I like the way the back part looks. That's looking really good back there. I want to see if I can get a little bit more fill on this side. So this part out here, I'm going to see if I can add some more white card to it and get a little bit more bounce in this area. So I'm really close. I've got the light bouncing down, and I've got the light on both sides bouncing in. The only thing I don't like is this frontal part still looks a little too even, a little too dark, a little too backlit overall, especially on the wrapped dinosaur here. So I want to see if I can put another white card right here and then add that white card in, and that will allow me to get some more bounce in the front. So here's my final setup for two flashes. Now I'm using this external flash. It is set to a slave mode, so it's got light sensitive slave unit in it, and it's being triggered by the pop-up flash in the camera. So think of this flash here that I've got on top of this broomstick. It's kind of my main light at the backdrop. So what's going on is that it is underneath a white card that's helping to bounce light down, and it's pushing the light to the white seamless paper, and it's allowing me to have that kind of hit and then rake down into the scene. So that is the most powerful part. But then there's a lot of bounce and diffusion going around. So you have white cards on both sides going back towards the backdrop, and that's bouncing light inside, sort of like a light tent, so to speak. Got light bouncing down from below. I've got cards coming up pretty much to the front, and then right here I've got a card also bouncing light in. So this is kind of like my fill, if you will, and this fill is picking up a little bit of the hot shoe flash that's out here and a little bit of the pop-up flash that's right here. So it's getting a little bit there, and I kind of varied it. It's a white piece of like mounting board, but then I put that white reflective photo printing paper right here, so that it's a little stronger right around the head of this object. So that way that part's a little bit brighter. And this whole side over here is getting a little bit more than the other side over there. So on image right, you'll see that there's more light in there.